Hello there everyone. So it's the first time I've done this talking through it, but I finally finished my crafty Hall Folio. I'm not quite sure what to do with the cover. I'm going to leave that for another day. The spine, I found some really lovely wide black ribbon, and I popped that along there. So let's have a look. Now, I've tried to keep it in line with the story. So the first section is about the vicar and his wife, and I've taken the parts of the story and made various tag booklets, notifications of the doctor who died. I made a little closure there, and then inside I put a tag where you can, there's journal space on the back. Alright, so that's the first pocket, and then I put a band up here so that I could tuck something else in. And then again, this one's about his wife, who was so upset after he was killed. I found some really old lace that I've used for the closure. Just do that up quickly. All right. So, and then I've just created another little tuck spot because I just couldn't help myself. One there, and then one there as well, with little journaling spaces on the back. Okay. So those tuck in there, and then it flips open, all right, to the when it was abandoned. So, and I've got some little bits and pieces that show that journaling spots that show it was abandoned, and I've cut out bits of the story, put it here, a hidden paper clip to hold on to various other different journaling spots, and a little tag pocket there as well. All right, and then we move on to this bit where you get Rose, who's and about Jeffrey when he met his wife at the factory, and her letter resigning from the position because of ill health. And then in here I've got the actual document of when they bought Craftley Hall, folded up with a little pocket. There's their wedding photo and a picture of Craftley Hall itself. And then I've also got her letter there. So I've got both letters in there along with that, and they both go under that band there. All right, and then alongside here I've managed to squeeze in a couple more tags with various different bits of the story. All right, and then there, that's another little tag spot in there. I've used part of a cabinet there to hold it together. So that's that one. So there you go. And then this one again, I've tried to kind of move along with the story. There's the sort of like the deeds, another photo of them that goes in that pocket there. Okay, all right, and then here, this one is all about the Rose and arranging her possessions, and I've got some little bits of furniture there that she's rearranging when they move in. Oh, that one can go there. I think that one went in there, I'm quite sure. I've been working on this for quite a while. when I went through it. That talks about the renovations, and then again there's a picture with sort of like plans, and another picture there. Again, lots of space for journaling. I put them tucked in this flap here. Alright, so as the story moves on, we get to the bits that talk about things start happening. Alright, and this is where she goes down in the cellar. Got a little mouse there, sees a figure in the room, and again I'm adding on bits of the story there. Little tuck spot in there. And this one is again about Alice's and the things that she's found, with some little journaling spots there as well. Alright, and then the story moves on. Again, this is all really about the occurrences, and she's gone to a set of the rooms where they'd fallen into quite a lot of disrepair, and I had some printable acetate, and I printed one of the background pages on that, and I've been using it for the windows. This is about the strange scratching noises. Again, the bird cage that she finds, and just another journaling tag in there. If you have noticed, I do quite like a tag. Alright, let's just take those out for a minute. And then here I've got another tag here which opens out, and it's got some little spots in, but I did do that one upside down because I wasn't concentrating. That one obviously is the right way up. I might actually switch them around. And there's another little spot there and there, and that slips into there. And then here there's just a diary note spot there. Okay, and they get tucked back in there. So we go over, and again the ghostly occurrences, and I printed it onto acetate again so it looks quite ghostly. And then the other man that they see, I've used that, and I've put some more of the story here so that you can actually read it. So this is the Reverend wandering round. I'll just put a tag in there. Alright, and then this side again, I've used printable acetate here, and I've done some pockets and tags with more of the story on. There's a nice little cutie one here, cutie one in there. And yes, this one's about the dinner plates. You got the picture of the dinner plates there, and there's another little pocket at the back here, there. And then this one is on the sounds coming from the study. You've got a tuck space in there, and again I've put the story on some tags, and there's more journaling space in there. And then the last one was the occurrence with the curtains, and I've got some brown tissue paper, so I kind of made it up like a curtain with a chair at the back, and then in here I've put another tag with a bit more of the story on there. Okay, they fit in there, and then you turn over, and then here I did the bit where she finds the bureau, and again I've put it in a frame using the printed acetate, and there's the girl leaning over the wall. Whoops, sorry, just gone out of frame there. There you go. that slides in there. The frames are absolutely brilliant for doing this sort of thing. And then with a bigger frame, I've just put a little bit more of the story on it in there, and that sits in there. And then you've got some of the story there. And then again, so here is a bit of a mixture because I wanted to increase bits of the story. So this is another bit about the wallpaper, and I've used the tag at the back, and then other bits and pieces, a bit more of the story down there, and then that was the one with the plates where the plates got broken. In here, little envelope here that I've stuck down, and I've put some more of the stories, more of the story about what she found in the bureau at the back there, with a picture of the bureau hiding the closure bit there. I used the hand to tuck a few more little journaling spots in there. Okay, it's that goes, no, that goes down there. There you go. Moving along again. So I used a bit of elastic here to hold in. This is the envelope sets of pockets that I did, that I showed, that I uploaded earlier on. It's all decorated again, continuing the story about when Brundle and his associates arrive. And then I tucked that in there. The elastic I've secured with brads, and then I've used something to cover up. Again, I've got printed acetate here. I did glue it, but then just to make sure it didn't come out, I've put some brads in it holding it together, and there's just sort of like backing paper there. And then this is what Ernest noticed when the ghost telling him to go away, with a bit more of the story. When his notebook gets ripped. So again, a picture of the notebook there. And then on this bit, I've put the story there. And then you've got where they're holding the seance, and what happens there. And the little tag. I use the chairs as sort of like to indicate they're in the dining room. Again, more of the story there. Okay, and then the last bit is when they realise who they're in communication with, and they start building the church to commemorate. And I've got all these different bits and pieces. Here's the case file for Crafty Hall, and I had the unsolved, and then I stuck the case solved on the top of it because they've now solved it. Again, this pocket's held with, there's probably a bit too much to go in this pocket, but I just couldn't help myself. And again, there's the bit with a picture of the Reverend there. All right, and then that's all kind of secure in there. The folio itself I made out of a porridge oats box, and covered it completely and strengthened it, and now I've just got to find a way to close it. I've got the same, got different cover on the back, and a bit of lace there, and figure out what I'm going to put on the front. Well, hope I haven't bored you. Thank you for watching, and thank you to Tracie for the amazing kit. And you know that as I printed it out in day by day, and then sort of started putting it together. Yes, I've still got loads left, but I've still got Potter's Infirmary to have a go at, so I'm looking forward to doing another folio, but I'll probably have to wait for the summer holidays for that. So yes, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it's given you a bit of inspiration.